Hello, this is commentary for this episode. My name is Dan Harmon.
My name is Chris Parnell.
My name is Erica Hayes.
Eric is sort of, well, I don't want to say favorite because let's not hurt anyone's feelings, but she's an artist on Rick and Morty. She's been here since the early days. So this is the Whirly conspiracy. This part is how we started. I don't think this moment of the story ever changed. We knew we wanted to do a Rick and Jerry episode. And it was probably writer Ryan Ridley who came up with the first concept, which was just it's a pity adventure. It's an adventure that he made a deal with Morty that he'd do to keep divorced Jerry from self-harm. The rest of it, I can't remember how many permutations it went through. I have no big picture memories of the process of working on this episode. I will probably be triggered by little details that maybe I'll pipe off about.
Well, that makes it more exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, what about Jerry?
So many versions.
I love this conversation.
Where Jerry could really shine. He's a master convincer.
Rick, I'm not an idiot. I know what this is.
Oh. Okay, well, I told Morty, look,
there's a good Ridley coming up. Like it's hard to put your finger on like what makes Ridley's
it impedes my work. So
contribution so special. But there's like little dialogue moments that I
asked you to take me on some kind of
it's this moment when Rick goes like,
wait, what?
Well, shit, if you want pants, I'll make you pants. And he's like reaching over to the glove box to like get him pants. It's like that never changed. Like that moment. It's like little Ridleyisms.
Shove you into the vacuum of space with your dick hanging out, and we're seeing how you'd act if that were about to happen. I mean, shit, I'll make you the pants right now. Take me 2 seconds to make you pants.
I don't know why. I don't know. I guess say.
I wanted to kill you.
Yeah, I get it. It'd be
It'd
amazing.
be amazing.
Take me home. I'll tell my son we had an adventure.
I don't know what to ask
Our story straight because you're
Erica to get her talking about the probably very interesting aspect of like drawing Rick and Morty. I don't know what to. I feel like I would be like your mom at Thanksgiving, going, "So do you draw all 30 pictures per second, or?"
Well, I storyboarded this scene right here.
I'm not gonna take you somewhere.
I was actually really, really excited about a Rick and Jerry episode. I thought that was brilliant and opened up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, we talked right away, of course, about Midnight Run as an influence because it's kind of a road movie, but more importantly, it's two characters that are absolutely not invested in liking each other, kind of coming together through by being deprived of their normal recourses to defense mechanisms. This immortality resort, I can't remember when in the process it became the thing. It was certainly not the lead idea. The lead idea was a Rick and Jerry adventure, and that they go somewhere and they go to a bar and they start bonding about a fake adventure they're going to make up, and then a real adventure happens to them. But I don't remember at what point we just came up with this relatively just,
Holy fucking
side dish concept of, it's an immortality resort.
And it must have a pain dampening feel too, I think.
That's a thing. I remember. Here's an Erica thing, because I remember. I think we forgot that like Rick should have that hole in his shirt surrounded with blood for the entire rest of the episode.
Yeah.
And at one point it had to be like added into everything.
Copy and pasted over and over.
About that is a part you shouldn't give any energy to.
That's not an answer.
That is horrifying.
Oh, okay, I'm your mom and a doctor.
This B story. As much as I would love to confound the alt-right by saying this B story was a dude's idea about body image, it actually was. I think it was one of the girls who was like just Summer wants bigger boobs, and we started just having fun with. It's this scene, like I wanted to get really intricate with it, and I could turn it into like a Buster Keaton routine. Like, how do you start making your boobs bigger with a ray that makes your boobs bigger, and how does that end up with you becoming a giant monster?
My face.
Oh, it's not that scene. It's broken up into two.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, of course he likes it. Look at him. Motherfucker got 2 heads and 3 trunks.
All right, we'll put a pin in it. I'm gonna go take a leak.
Yeah, because all those scenes where they get murdered, where they get killed, like what's about to happen to Jerry here, like
Yeah.
his reaction pain-wise.
Yeah.
It's like, that would really hurt.
Yeah, he's not reacting. I think I did say, like maybe we should do less blood given his reaction, but also that wouldn't make sense either.
No.
Soto Groupon. I am the
This is
Such a good scene.
this is Clancy Brown.
Might have some thought.
Men my age know him as the Kurgan from Highlander. I don't want to diss women by pretending you're not allowed to be a nerd. I guess I'm more saying like it's a very dude thing. Have you seen Highlander, Erica?
I have not.
Okay.
Are we talking the movie or the TV series?
Oh, the movie.
Okay.
And none of the sequels. But yeah, Clancy Brown. He's also been in Shawshank. He's the big scary guard. But
Oh, yeah. Okay.
but you know, guys my age are like, that's the fucking Kurgan. Awesome actor, super friendly guy, like amazing. So interesting to like grow up watching a dude be basically Darth Vader, and then you meet him and he's just
The nicest guy.
such a chill like hippie.
Yeah.
Home to your family.
Anyways, I remember this scene like so. This is very typical of my tendency to overwrite, and then I have to fix it in editing. Like we had written this scene by the time I was done, quote unquote, helping.
Like Rick.
This guy had so much fucking backstory about what Rick had done to him and all this stuff, and sometimes a scene just ends up being written by Machete in the edit bay. And this is one
I
of
love
those
this
scenes.
part.
I know.
Once a time a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic moment.
We had a lot of conversations about, well, the Ray needs to have a backdrop because we don't want the
whole garage going up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't-
That was smart.
Side then.
I So we went through that step by step. We're like, oh, well, she tries, then she uses her hand to block it, and then it makes her hand big, which like makes it heavy, and it falls down, and that makes her arm big, and then she turns, and it makes her ass big. And
So good.
Summer! I'm coming, Summer!
What the hell happened?
I don't know if we nailed,
How do we get her back to normal?
this is kind of a Summer Beth story, but Summer is
Hold on, we can't just
not
your grandpa
present
never
for the story, and so the end result is that maybe it's not the strongest like Beth dimensionalization episode, but because all we're getting between Beth and Morty is kind of anger and conflict. It's arguably the most valuable thing from the B story character-wise is that you realize Morty is like kind of changing. He's sick of Rick, that he sent Rick off not to save his dad, but that he's like so sick of adventuring with Rick, like he needs a break himself.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the first time we really saw him stick up to his mom too, and kind of call her out on her own behavior, how similar she is to Rick.
Yeah, I kind of compare it in my own head for
Pregnancy happened.
Community fans to the Troy's birthday episode of Community. It's like Morty grows up in this episode, and part of growing up is he has to like thanklessly take care of people that don't know how to don't see the forest for the trees yet.
Hey, to new begin.
By the way, part of a really horrible thing about commentary is you can't talk about one thing without talking over 1,000 other things.
That's all right.
Should have done that a long time ago. We're going on the world.
We should make the cartoon slower.
Baby.
Aha, look at this. It says normalize. I bet if we just press that.
But if the machine was made by spider people, normal would mean 8 legs.
Oh, God, are you going to go on another like you did with the flesh-colored crayon? I'm pretty sure normalize will make her normal.
Yeah, we're not coming up on the cabinet with the people in it yet. I remember there was this point where Justin literally just kept saying, like, we kept trying to like figure out what this B story was, and Justin just kept saying,
Possibly.
I just want to see a big giant summer, like bursting out of the garage or something like.
Customer service number on here.
And sometimes that can be frustrating but it's only frustrating if you think your job is to make Justin see something different. And sooner or later you have to stop and go like, well, what if our job is to do what Justin sees? And then you build a story around what Justin sees, and invariably, really, that turns out to create these classic episodes.
Oh, that's interesting.
This scene was such a crazy scene to storyboard, so complicated. Juan did most of it, the director, but it was sort of a all hands on deck.
Yeah,
I'm falling asleep.
I can only imagine. I mean, just the physics.
Once
of
it starts going, it's nuts.
I mean, and this is a case where the writers really fuck the artist and not because it's a complex scene, but because the artists could have, if we had known what we were doing from the beginning of the episode and been on schedule, we could have told the artist, here's the deal. This roller coaster is going in and out of this field, or hey, it's a theme park ride. You design it. But instead, it was kind of like we were halfway through the process when we had to go back to Juan and say, actually, we need to really, really dive into the whole immortality playground thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, as cool as all this shit is,
How'd you know
if we had our eyes on that prize from the beginning, it's like it could have been this like crazy set piece. It already is, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's. I was really conflicted about that.
I had the pleasure of boarding that little sequence.
Well done.
So, Jerry, big fan of the Whirly Durly, are you?
Not anymore, obviously.
One of the cooler things about this episode is just that Rick, then he loses his Inspector Gadget lab coat, and now he's just hanging out in his undershirt.
Sure.
It's like kind of cool.
Real common name.
Another huge inspiration for this episode that I forgot is the Breaking Bad episode where they end up trapped in the desert in the Winnebago.
Yeah.
Get it off!
Because it's seeing Rick deprived of his usual amount of shit and his portal gun and his car and watching him do all this shit. But that's also that's the same as the Pickle Rick episode.
Yeah, I was going to say, did this come before or after Pickle Rick?
After. Yeah. So Parnell, talk about your where you go as an actor when you're faced with a scene like this.
Well, I actually did get partially swallowed by a snake one time, so it wasn't a big leap. I didn't have to pretend. I knew exactly how it felt.
That was another Ridley that I've flagged in my brain, like the snake creature saying "oof." And there was a point when it was gone. I don't know how it happened. Sometimes things just, people make edits and stuff, and all of a sudden it was gone, and I was like, holy shit, no, the snake has to say oof.
I knew you wouldn't let me die.
That was never an option.
Because you never had a son?
No, because I need a living organism coated in kibble snake pile to a tree.
I just remember a lot of difficulty with this scene, and then it all coming together, that it really was. He let him get eaten because it was all part of his plan, which is a very Doctor Who thing. Doctor Who doesn't let you know what he's up to for a really long time. And there's things he's doing that you think are personal, and it just turns out they're practical. And this next shot.
Oh, yes.
Almost made me quit. I was at height nervous breakdown, and Justin had kept talking about how he wanted the balls to be slapping Jerry in the face. Something about the design of the creature, and it was like the balls needed to be slapping him in the face. And then I can't remember why it is that I got really mad at Justin. Justin doesn't even know that because he was like not in the room when I can't even remember. There's not enough time to talk about it.
Why did it upset you so much?
I can't. I mean, it's so circuitous. It has something to do with like just me seeing the final image, which wasn't what we just saw. It was like he wanted the balls to slap in the face, but in order for the balls to slap Jerry in the face, they needed to be positioned so high that they weren't balls; they were on the thing's chest. And so, but it's better to talk about the morphalizer thing. The split screen with the guys running out. That's very Douglas Adams. I remember that being like a whole room thing. That was just I think I think like all the writers were like
And just as
kind of came together on that. It was a really fun moment of just like breaking free of something that was making us miserable and coming up with just a funny joke. Like you split screen and then the guys just run out.
That was such a great moment. I loved it.
I also like how Morty tells off the neighbor.
Yeah, that's the introduction of Gene. I think
Gene.
I think Gene comes back later, and that's another Ridley for sure.
Oh, come on.
What's happening?
Your friend has classes.
That's Ridley's voice.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Augmentations. Emphasis on the above. In any case, he needs to be neutralized.
What? Wait!
This was kind of a late change too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Dampener,
and it's almost its own episode idea. Like, oh, dumb Rick, but
Want cookies and a 90-minute cut of Avatar.
Seriously?
I really pushed for that whole cybernetic thing. Like, I don't know why. I guess I was just such an Inspector Gadget fan when I was a kid. Like, I like implying that Rick is like loaded up.
He's enhanced.
I'm sorry, I'm not a classic maternal archetype. Okay, I don't know what to do when you people come to me with your weird puberty issues. What are you gonna do when your daughter asks you if she's attractive?
I'll say yes.
Morty, gross.
Well, she's gonna be super hot. Her mother's gonna be Jessica. Wait, when did Summer ask you that?
Right before she Clive Barkered herself. Why?
Wait, I know where she is. Ethan and Summer were supposed to go camping, and then he dumped Summer for this girl Trisha Lang who's got huge boobies and took her. The campsite.
That's some good deduction on Morty's part.
What's her name? Kim Lebanon.
The one with the
line.
name that sounds like someone gave up making up. That's every name in this show, by the way.
They have sweet cookies.
Yeah, I love that conversation.
Obviously, cookies.
Yeah, the idea, of course, being that Morty's paying more attention to Summer's life than Beth is, and that's really that you don't need to be a feminine mom or a masculine mom or a smart mom or a dumb mom. You just need to I don't know. Morty's like a better brother to his sister than Beth being to a mom to Summer. And
Shoot now.
All right, folks.
I guess the thing that really turned me on about that turned me on as a writer, not in the classic sense. What was the idea that Beth's motivation for being the way she is, or the thing that makes her that way, is because she wants to be like Rick, and then it doesn't make the episode entertaining for anyone else, but it's like my little thing, like my crochet, is that Morty pointing out to her,
What are you doing?
you are like him because you're an asshole. Because you don't care about anyone but yourself.
Because you know I feel sorry for you. You're just doing this so you can tell yourself you fought. Ow!
Temporal shield compromised.
Congratulations, Jerry. You get to die a man.
Well, that's okay. I'll leave. Please don't shoot. I'm the vagina.
For sure, I think it's definitely a Ridley pitch to this whole Jadorowski. Is that, am I getting that?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
To go into this sequence, like, and when he explained it to me, that it was like the 70s version of like when you like go into these psychedelic things. It's like
This was so fun to work on.
It's really amazing.
We really got to just let loose creatively.
It's brilliant.
partly inspired by a short story by Stephen King called The Jaunt, just about kind of wormhole travel. The fact that you go through infinity. And then if you're conscious for it, you'll go insane. That was a temp line from Justin. He insisted stayed. God love him for his insistences.
Oh, God. I feel like our souls were united and we're all one with eternity.
Our bodies unchanged, yet our minds have lived 1,000 lifetimes. Is that enough time for me to forgive you?
I don't know, but it's enough time for a synaptic dampener to wear off.
I want to say it was Guterman that the idea that he had to go grab at it twice.
I've seen it before. Cosmic apotheosis wears off faster than salvia.
I'm starting to believe you because I just finished merging with your essence for an endless epoch and I'm already back to thinking you're an asshole.
Fine with me. Let's just go our separate ways. Sounds like you and the word epoch have a lot of catching up to do.
I love that line.
All right, folks, you're free to get up and walk around the cabin and maybe take the wormhole for breakfast. Okay, you could do the dinner one or the breakfast.
You think you got that thing figured out?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Good, because I have an idea.
fraction of some and more. You see that?
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm trying to think in my head. So, given all the parallel universes and splitting and stuff, is this version of Ethan, does he have a theme park in his body? The answer should be yes.
Morty, what's happening here?
Summer got into my grandpa's garage. Moved around and turned herself into a monster. My mom did the same to make her feel better. She's a good mom.
I love how protective of Summer Morty is, in this episode, and how he progressively over the seasons has gotten more and more protective. You know, like with Rick and Beth and everyone being like terrible adult figures in their lives, and all they really have is each other to kind of lean on. So it's, I don't know. I think it's pretty realistic in terms of like a sibling relationship. Like,
I mean, I have a sister, but I didn't like grow up with her, and I like the idea that
You tried to murder me.
Morty's so abused that he doesn't necessarily he wouldn't be a fan of his sister in a vacuum, but because she's relatively innocent to him, that his instinct to keep her from getting as abused as he has is what's underneath that.
Right.
That he's like, you don't understand, like you cannot think this is punk rock, like this is gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. And they still fight like siblings too, which is good. But it's one of those things like no one can call my sister a bitch but me type things.
It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Well, sorry we didn't talk about whatever you wanted us to talk about while we were talking about other stuff, but that's commentary for you.
Woo!
Good job drawing it. Good job directing, Juan Meza-Leon. I'm definitely sure I pronounced that right. Good job designing those characters, Carlos and Max. What about those backgrounds, Chris and Vance? You were no slouches.
I tell you, fellas, this is the life.
It certainly is.
To freedom.
I mean, that's kind of fucked up that Morty just... I'm assuming there's more to that story that maybe Ethan, like, crossed a line.
Get a clear 13% demorphized with that kind of range.
Gentlemen.
That's Ridley again, right?
Oh, yeah. Ridley's everywhere.
Relax and enjoy our retirement.
Did you get any of that?
That's a delightful ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that episode.